My name is Lauren Giesler. I'm an extension plant pathologist with the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. This year at our soybean management field day site, we're talking about the use of fungicides to manage disease and increase yields in soybean. One of the important steps to consider when you're looking at using a fungicide application is if there are any diseases present that you're going to get some control of. And so one of the things we're talking about are the identification of those diseases. We have several diseases in our soybean crop in Nebraska that we can see that are foliar diseases. Two of them are bacterial diseases. We have bacterial blight and we have bacterial pustule. Now both of those are pathogens that we would not expect to see any control with a fungicide because they're bacterial organisms. So the antifungal compounds are not going to have any activity. Now, when we look at diseases that are important that we'll have some management of, one of the things that we'll see in just about all of our fields is brown spot. Brown spot is considered a minor disease of soybean, but yet it is one that you will get some benefit when you use a fungicide. The other one we talk about is frog eye leaf spot. Now, frog eye leaf spot for Nebraska growers is relatively new, and we don't see that disease all over the state, but we will see it in certain fields. And once we know that we have frog eye in an area, we'll tend to see that again, as that's a residue-borne disease, and we'll see that come in typically as it's new in a field. We'll see it in the top portion of the field. We'll see those circular leaf spots that are typical for the identification of frog eye. And with that, that's where we'll tend to get some control, particularly with strobilurin fungicides. A frog eye leaf spot traditionally has always been one that responds very well to using a strobilurin fungicide. Now in 2010 in the fall was the first time that we had a significant crop disease have resistance reported. And frog eye leaf spot's the disease that was reported to have strobilurin resistance in the south last fall. So we haven't seen resistant frog eye in Nebraska, but our growers should be aware that if they use a fungicide and they see disease continuing to develop, that it's possible for a frog eye leaf spot to be resistant, as well as other pathogens to have fungicide resistance. One of the changes this year in our soybean management field day program is that every one of our locations is a replicated research site. So this year, regarding foliar fungicides, we have the top choices that growers are trying to decide from that are on the market. You know, we've got the Syngenta, the BASF, the Bayer programs, as well as the Arista Lifavito product. So we're comparing those, and also we're looking at them with their insecticide partners, because when we look back at our trials, some of the highest returns that I've seen have been when we use a fungicide with that insecticide also in the tank mix. So we're assessing these and evaluating them for how much disease is present, as well as at the end we'll be taking those yields and reporting those for all those locations. So growers can go at the end of this year to the CropWatch website. They can look at that data to help them make a better decision on whether or not to use these fungicides.